What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Gambling Lab, brought to you by Bogey Proof. It is Colonial Week. We got myself and Paul on the line tonight. The other two are traveling for some golf trips, so we respect that. But we do have their bank account plays that we'll get to later in the episode here. But without further ado, Paul, what do you got for us on the the Charles Schwab Challenge at Colonial? Like
I
longest standing course. What do we got?
I really don't have a lot. It's the weekend after a major. I'm kind of exhausted from, you know, the Mito collapse or actually, how do you pronounce his name? Because it was completely different than what
I
we've
would
been
say they
saying
threw a
this
little
entire season.
curveball on the
It's like,
first tee, and they were saying
m
Perea and like not the second R. They're kind of like paella, They're kind of like
yeah, 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 but it was like Mito or something like that. It wasn't meat,
yeah.
it was
I
like
mean,
Mito.
I feel like everybody else besides that one guy. Granted, he had a pretty big stage to do so, but everybody else in the world says Mito Pereira. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna stick
yeah,
with that until it's like proven otherwise.
I agree. But yeah, it's just a major championship hangover type of week. Like I'm actually kind of shocked to see JT in the field. But again, like we've said in the past on this thing that they use these weeks just to fine tune. Like
Yeah,
I can't see JT going out there and firing any kind of a number. He might do what he did on Sunday and just go like crazy one of the rounds and just ball bounces his way a few times and shoots like 63 on some random ass day, but I don't see much out of him this week at all.
yeah. I don't see him doing a bunch of prep work and stuff. It's a big like who actually cares this week kind of week where it's like the first, like just looking at the board here, right? You got Scheffler, JT, Morikawa, Spieth, Zalatoris are your top five guys in DFS. I can't imagine JT and Willie Z having much juice left. Like
Yeah.
granted they could probably blindfolded go out there and play pretty well. It's just a matter of like after that Thursday round. I know we say this all the time. Like after that Thursday round, if they kind of and like they're 5, 6, 7 back after day one, probably whether or not they admit it, they're probably like, all right, let's make sure we shoot even here and not like go shoot five under and then all of a sudden find ourselves in contention. Like a good rest week wouldn't hurt with the US Open being, three weeks away and kind of a quick turnaround because they're all gonna play the Memorial next week. So it's like you don't need a full week this week if you don't if you don't feel like doing it. So something to consider as you're making your lineups or making your plays this week through you know DraftKings, whatever you're doing for sportsbook purposes and our bank account plays. But definitely something to consider. Another thing with this course, I think, like longest running tournament on the PGA Tour at the same venue. I think the name is or the sponsors changed a bunch of times, but they always play Colonial. Um, and it's like widely known kind of like short game iron playing course where it's a lot of dog legs, a lot of trees, very short and windy, quirky almost is the word compared to the usual PGA Tour course. So it's a really cool course to watch, like kind of RBC Heritage vibes, right? Kind of just give you a different look than the usual week to week on tour. So something to consider again, like you think of guys that have won here in the past, like Kisner, Kevin Na, Berger. I know Kokrak won last year. He's kind of the outlier of the last handful of champs here, but I think Jordan's won here before too, and he's obviously not
Yeah.
a driver of the golf ball. So it's like you got to pick guys that hit the iron super solid and just hot putters. Like super solid short games and make a bunch of putts. So something to consider. I think saying that. I think Jordan will have a decent week this week. Not have to be tested with the driver as much as Southern Hills may have. Be a little bit more comfortable, take less than driver off a lot of tees. Like Abe Answer, another guy had a solid week last week, but he's still a guy that you know he's given his all this week too. Like this week still matters to him compared to some
Yeah,
of the other
and
guys.
if we're talking daily fantasy, I feel like his price is kinda inflated there.
That's
I
true. He's
mean,
all the way up to
it's
9,300, which might be
like,
a
I was
lot.
gonna say, I don't think I've seen him up there this year or until, like,
Yeah,
even some of last year. Like, this just seems like it's a big number for him to
yeah.
spend on him.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I see like he's above like Berger, like Taylor Gooch, Tommy Fleetwood, Webb Simpson. Mito, who's that's a tough call this week. That's an emotional roller coaster he's on. I don't love that this week. But like Billy
Yeah,
Horschel, like I don't know, Kevin Na, like all those guys, like I feel like Abe should be in that group, not way above that group of
I
people
agree. I
right now.
agree.
So
Yeah.
it's little bit of inflation there after a solid week at Southern Hills last week. So, might have to cool off. You don't want to buy too high with him, but I do think we'll have a solid week for more of like a if you're thinking of a top 20 play, something along those lines, but salary is probably not too friendly. Anybody stick out though on the bottom half of that DFS?
Um, I mean, a guy like Doug Gim or who's the postman out there? JT
Yep.
Poston. I could see either one of them. Again, I mean, they're way down there, but they're guys that play like in every single event that they can. They're always trying to get their game hot because they
Get
need
rack up the points whenever they
rack up
can
the
get them,
FedEx points, cash a big check, move up the
FedEx Cup, the
or
whole
yeah,
spiel.
all those things, or even like, Mark Hubbard is another guy
Mhm.
way down there that his name just sticks out to me that it just seems like Mark Hubbard could win this thing.
Yeah,
I know that his short game is phenomenal compared to he doesn't hit the ball far, but
yeah,
he's an above average putter, and I know around the green he's up there in strokes gained this year.
yeah. I see a guy like down there pretty low for a halfway decent year this year. At least he got off to a good start. Maybe he's cooled off, but like Joel Damon, like he doesn't hit it far. He just strikes it super solid, super straight, and he's not going to test his short game too much. It'll just be a lot of birdie looks because he's not having to like whack a driver and try to hit like a 6 iron or something like that. Like if he hits the fairway, he'll have like scoring clubs in his hands, and I think he'll hit more fairways than most people do. He's down at like 7,200. I think he's worth a flyer at that price. We've seen him a lot higher price than that this year. And I might be wrong in doing so, but I'm mentally comparing this place a lot to RBC Heritage. I think it asks a lot of the same questions, and he came in
Yeah,
like 11th there. So
yeah,
I'm gonna.
yeah,
That's my guy that whether you're making a lineup or making a play, he is a guy that you're gonna get. I think a good value price at for this week.
yeah. I'm with that. Yeah,
Yeah, and then let's see what else we got. Like Peter Malnati, he's a guy again like it just fits that mold of like gonna hit really straight. It's gonna be really boring, and if I putt halfway decent, I'm gonna be kind of making a cut and giving you some value down in the 68, 6,900 range. So
how
those are
about a
my
guy
DFS
like
guys.
Brian Stewart? What's his cost? I don't even see it, but I'm seeing him that he's got like an insane driving accuracy, strokes gained.
I mean, that's a good story to tell. I mean, his
And
finishes are a little inconsistent this year. Seems to play really well when the Condittis get going. He played well at the Honda Classic, Puerto Rico, and Corrales, which I know those island ones always get windy as hell and a little sketchy. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, because Byron Nelson doesn't fit him.
I mean, how long's this guy been on tour?
I know
Like
he looks 100.
he's like 40 years old. Like how often does he play in this tournament? How well does he know the greens and all that stuff?
Yeah,
I don't know.
that yeah,
Someone else can fact check that information for us, but uh, he may not be a bad guy to look at. Just course knowledge and course
yeah.
fit. Just he gets
He's
the
in the
ball in
flyer
play,
range
and
again.
it get yeah. You have so many wedge opportunities here where it's just a matter of putting yourself in the position to get the green light.
Yep.
And if he's way up there hitting the ball straight off the tee, he should have plenty of green lights.
So we like to hear green lights, or we like green lights in golf. Green lights are a good feeling. You get a little comfort, loosen it up a little bit. You usually make your best swings that time. So,
I feel like it's gonna be a big like Ches Reavie week.
yeah, oh God, yeah,
I feel like he's just gonna be buzzing
yeah,
around. You're gonna see him
yeah.
out there with his little flat brim, just
hmm
you know.
Another good comp, honestly, like Travelers, right? Guys that play well at the Travelers probably will play
Yep,
well this week too.
yep,
Jordan,
yep.
Ches, all these guys were saying like have had success at the Travelers too. So definitely, as you're going through, it's try to because I feel like this is a tough one to like picture in my mind. And if it is for you too, like try to picture people that play at the Travelers and play well, or play at RBC and play well. So
Yeah,
those are the guys I'm kind of circling this week. If I'm on the fence, that's the tiebreaker this week.
yep.
But without further ado, I want to get into our bank account plays, and real quick, we'll just rip off TJ and Prev's bank account plays because they sent them in. So TJ is going Scotty Scheffler with a top 10, and that is at plus 120, and Tommy Fleetwood with a top 20, and Mr. Fleetwood is plus 160 for a top 20. So again, buying high because I think he finished like in the top 15 at the PGA. So buying high there, but you also riding a hot hand. We're plus odds. We'll take those bank account plays all week. And then Prev is going Jordan top 10 and Finau top 20. Finau top 20 is plus 160. A Jordan top 10 is plus 140. So again, we like those plus odds, and Jordan again, it's RBC 2.0 right after a major,
Yep.
go out, get it done. A little quirky of a course, take the driver out of his hand, let him get a rhythm going, hitting smaller swings, easier shots, and see where that takes us. What do you got for your bank account plays this week?
Definitely. I'm going with, see, I put in like four different things here. I'm trying to decide which ones I'm most confident in. Well, one of them is a winner, but we'll leave that till after. Um, I'll go Kevin Na top 20, which is plus 190, and Max Homa top 20, which is plus 110. Not crazy value on the Homa play, but again, Kevin Na's won here again. Again, it's one of those wedge weeks. I can see him walking in putts that he has no business walking in, and just making a fool out of himself out there at times. But I got good vibes out of Kevin Na this week. Although a lot of people have been talking about him, so it's one of those like, is too much talk
Yeah,
good
a little
talk?
chalky.
You know? Yeah, he might be a little chalky play, but we'll see. How about yourself? What do you
I
got?
don't know. I think so. I like Chris Kirk this week. I don't know why
Yeah,
he flashed up on screen at the PGA, and he's one of those guys that seems to play like really well for a month and then disappears for the rest of the year.
yeah,
Maybe this is his month. Maybe he puts a couple good starts together. Super awesome, like super solid. Like everybody loves watching him hit irons, the rhythm, the tempo, all that good stuff. Have a decent week with the putter. He could probably play pretty well. So I'm gonna go Chris Kirk top 20 plus 200, and then I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna buy low with DB straight vibing after shooting 80 on Friday at the PGA.
okay.
Maybe he had enough time away. Maybe went on a couple boat rides, cleared his head. Catch him coming off a little bit of an extended break, and I'm gonna go with a DB straight vibe in top 20 at plus 130. Guy
I
won
like
here two
that.
years ago. He doesn't hit it far at all. He kind of works his way around a golf course. I like
Yep.
his chances this week. So we're
Yeah.
gonna go DB straight vibe and bounce back. We're gonna buy low, try and sell high, top 20 plus 130 on that guy.
Nice, nice. The other, since I alluded to it, I guess the other two that I have, I guess my honorable mention plays go. My guy Tom Hoagie, top 20 plus 190. Man, I was upset because I didn't ride him and didn't ride Mito last week for the
I,
first time, and it's just disappointing to see.
it's tough. It's one that's what gambling is in a nutshell. It's like hindsight's always 2020 in gambling. Like if you just I feel like for all of our takes, if you put that guy in play that we pick in one of these weeks and you put him in play for like 3 weeks straight, you're gonna hit one of them.
Yeah,
But if you
yeah.
only do the one week we
I,
pick them, you fucking miss. And
I,
like
I,
Mito, you pick what 7 out of the 10 episodes we've done this year.
I wanted to see him win so bad just
I
because I've
know.
been rooting for him all year, but it also
Yeah.
would have crushed me because
Yeah.
I didn't
The
back
one
him.
week you got no action on him.
The one week I didn't back him and he wins. Then the other one, to win, Hovland at 20 to 1. I
Yeah.
feel like that's a good price for him there. And again, he can be lights out with the irons and wedges.
Yeah.
He gets that rolling. His short game has definitely gotten better over the last
Yeah.
2 years or so.
Yeah.
Um,
And
he
he's a guy
he
that's so accurate with the driver too. Like he can even
yeah,
squeeze it some places that a lot of guys probably won't, and
yep,
then make life a lot easier for himself or hit it over trees, whatever. He can do a lot with the driver. It's a weapon.
exactly, exactly.
Alrighty. Colonial Charles Schwab Challenge Week. That's a wrap. We'll be back next week for more at the Memorial. That'll be a big week. We'll have a bunch of content there. But make sure you subscribe, like, comment, get involved on these YouTubes. Make sure you listen to us before you set those lineups every week. Cheers.
Cheers.